Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. But in this video, I'm going to show you a few cards. But as I'm showing you some cards, I'm going to tell you what my strategy is at the next big card show that's coming up. And that next big card show, some of you guys that aren't going to that show are tired of hearing me talk about Strongsville, Ohio. And for those of you that are just kind of watching this for the first time, Strongsville, Ohio is a show that a card show that I've been talking about for almost a full year. I went to it a year ago, and it was an all vintage card show, meaning there's no bright and shiny stuff there that I saw, and it was vintage cards only, and from wall to wall, table to table, nothing but vintage. And I'm excited about going, and I've been sharing that on this channel. And again, if you're not going, I know you're tired of hearing me talk about it, but if you are going, you're probably as excited as me. But I decided to put out a little bit of a strategy that I'm going to use at this card show, and I'm going to see if I can stick to it. But chances are I'm going to end up deviating from that. And it's going to be exciting. Really, my strategy is to get there and to have as much fun with as many people as I possibly can. This YouTube thing's been fun for me over the course of a year and a half now, and I can't wait to see and shake hands with some of the people that I've never met personally before, and reconnect with some people that I haven't seen for a long time. And I'm riding up with two really close friends of mine. One has become close because of YouTube. We just met a little over a year and a half ago, and we go to card shows together. This time, I'm taking him with a buddy of mine I've known for 20 years, a big-time card collector named Brent, and we're going to drive. We're going to drive 10 miles. We're going to drive 10 hours from Middle Missouri to Strongsville, Ohio. And during those 10-hour drive, we're going to talk nothing but baseball and baseball cards, and it's going to be exciting. So my strategy, I'm taking some money up there. Not like a ton of money. I've taken more than what I'm taking, but I'm looking for a big card. And when I say a big card, I'm gonna turn this around and show you what I'm looking for. So as you can see, that's a Sanella Babe Ruth. Now I'm not looking for a Babe Ruth. I just wanted to have that to show off here. But first, I'm going to show you what I mean by a big card, and I'm probably not taking this amount of money to get to Strongsville or enough cards to trade, but I'm bringing some cards to trade. But if you look there, my big cards that I don't have is a 52 Topps Mano, a Leaf Page, but I'm kind of looking for the T206 Greenback Ty Cobb. I'm looking for the 52 Jackie Robinson. I'm looking for a 41 DiMaggio or a 40 DiMaggio, and a 50 Jackie Robinson, a 48 DiMaggio Leaf, and a 39 Williams. Those are the ones that if I can find something in a really low grade, I might pull the trigger on them. I want them to have good of eye appeal. But I can probably, with the money that I'm taking and the cards that I'm taking, pick up a few cards. But, if I can't pick up the 52 Mantle this weekend. I can't pick up the Satchel Paige this weekend. I could if I brought more cards to trade, but I think my concentration at this card show is going to be off a little bit, because you can't help but at a card show that's not, huge, and all these fellow YouTubers that I watch on TV, I'm going to be distracted and wanting to spend more time with them. But, if I find a lower grade DiMaggio or something, I'm going to pull the trigger on something like that. And, on this same sheet, I have, for the 300 great cards, I'm looking for a 48 Rizzuto, a 84 Fleer Clemens. I don't have one of those. I'm looking for a 41 Gehringer, and maybe an 84 Gooden on those 300 great cards that I collect. And those 300 great cards is a book written by Mike Payne. Now, if I can't find any of those cards, I'm still going to have fun because I'm gonna go after these player runs. And let me show this to you. If you look, if you look real close here, you'll see that I need a few cards for these different player runs. But I'm going to see if I can run into a Ford or Adobe, a Kiner, a Snyder, those years that I have written down here. Even like the Star Drill, I should be able to find some of those. Like, we're close enough to Pittsburgh, I should be able to find some Star Drills and stuff. So if I don't pick up a card, I can still find, something to collect, something to trade for, something to spend my money on. And I'm looking for this Joe Mauer and this David Ortiz card as well. So I always think that, okay, you go to a card show where you know there's going to be some cards that you're interested in. You put a plan together, and my plan is first take a look at the floor, and I think you'll have plenty of time to do that, and look and see if there's a big card. Now, if I buy a big card the first day, I want to make sure I'm still able to have some fun looking for some player runs, some lower cost cards. But the other thing, if I don't pull the trigger or the cards are too expensive, I still want to have some fun looking at tables, concentrating on cards. And one of the things that I kind of fallen in love with over the course of I've had them for a while, some of these cards, but I kind of fallen in love with some of the sets. And I'm going to go after a couple of these kind of cards as well if I don't find a big card and if I don't work on my player run. So I really like these strip cards. And I'll go after a Hall of Fame strip card like this. Like this Babe Ruth. There's a couple of them that year that I would like to get another Babe Ruth. And they're not going to break the bank if you get one in a lower grade. But they still can be pricey. But some things that I picked up recently that aren't that expensive is this. I want to get Hall of Famers out of this 43 set. I really like these kind of cartoons. And or something Hall of Famer out of this. I believe this is a 49, this DiMaggio. So if I can find Hall of Famers of this set right here, I'll be pretty happy as well. Now, the other thing that I've enjoyed is going after these Wheaties Hall of Famers. And, they have what is called an in-action photo. Or they have, the portrait picture. And I'm going to go after Hall of Famers in those particular cards and just add to those kind of collections. So, I have a narrow focused, and then I widen it up a little bit. Sometimes I go to card shows and I look for inventory to sell, but I don't want to do that on this one. I don't want to trade for cards that I already have. I may take a post-war rookie Hall of Famer that I have in a lower grade and take it to trade and trade up. Last year at this particular show, I took a 1949 Bowman Satchel Paige, and it was in a GAI holder. And I called ahead of time with my favorite dealer that's going to be there, and his name's Stan. And I called Stan ahead of time, and I gave him a list of 5 post-war rookie Hall of Famers that I had in an SGC or a non-PSA grade or a slab. And ahead of time, I made the deal with that Satchel Paige, and I got a lower Satchel Paige that looked really good, but I went up in grades on a Tom Seaver, on a Richie Ashburn, on a couple other, on 5 different cards, and so it made it kind of exciting. So I would suggest if you're going, go with a plan. Try to stay within your means. And if you don't buy a card, there's going to be people there that don't buy a card. There's going to be people there that might spend $20. There's going to be money changing hands. Last year, I helped a guy count out $80,000 for a card, and I don't count so well. But there's going to be money changing hands. But just go with a strategy. Try to stick to it, and just because there's going to be other guys there, don't try to outdo them. Stay within your sandbox that you play in. Just enjoy it, take it all in, look at all the great cards. I'm sure there's going to be tons of videos after this, after the show, showing pickups from everybody. And, if I pick up a great card, it's going to suffer in comparison with shaking hands with some of my friends and giving hugs to some of my friends. And so you'll catch me on the showroom floor, or on Friday night you can catch me at the Best Western Hotel in one of the ballrooms there, or you might even catch me sitting next to one of my favorite Canadian buddies, Mike Canadian Cards, at the bar. And guys, it's going to be a great week. It's going to be fun. And as soon as this is over, you're not going to have to listen to me talk about it too much anymore. But remember, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.